to the ultraviolet. And since we don't have a direct coupling between the two sectors, that they are geometrically separated, which is the sequence scenario, and we want to ask that the two vectors in the ultraviolet, and that since we believe in definite, the dominant vector is the actually what we find out is the contribution to the calculator of another ten-dimensional model function. So, let's have the two vectors of the vector by how we that vector is going to have a level of the immediate and let's see how we have it to the calculator equal to the then over to the six, we have research some other things would be considered to say like the invented and then we have the fundamental relations and the company have this but that you can estimate the contribution to the more than the international contribution so we have to the second level of the now if we take a concrete background to what is congenital, then we have more potential mapping in the sense that in particular vector superfields will contribute. We will have the gauge symmetry from the isometry of the internal space in the four-dimensional theory, but this will be burdened by embedding it into a union for which we set the isometry. So V will get the E square mass, and we expect the physics sector to be charged under that gauge symmetry. The whole thing gets modified like this, and here's the mass for V, and it turns out to the that we get the difference of the angle, which is atomic to 4. First, as we again add the vector field, so the coupling to the charge on the vector, then we get the element of the same order as we get in the and then we need modulus mediation, but this is actually competing effect. Okay, let's summarize. The first looks like the standard model, modulus stabilization becomes third order white stabilization inside D, with the potential being inside in the that direction in geometry. We need to get the modulus potential, and the sequence between the infrared and the ultraviolet may be violated by massive deficits, which can come certain isometries of the cell. So, this is a nice the model which tries to draw, and I can realize this is not an contribution, and it is also nice and the sense of better, in particular by the effect of supergravity, which is so much like that, and it's happens to expect that to be the ultraviolet. Thank you. So I'd like to discuss the mutation in the constitutional model. First, I'd like to discuss group mutation and the embedding of the mutation, and second, I will talk about the combination between different field vectors, and I will come to application. So, as discussed well in the previous effective way can explain the typology of terminals, so this could be one of the candidates for explaining mechanism. So now I'd like to talk about the mutation. So whether base group and representation can be defined as a problem, and one of those factors is base coupling is inversely proportional to the volume of the cycle, and simply in the super these base groups coupling are different. But there is some reason to do mutation because if we believe that these are subtracting from the continuous mixing ratio from the first base group, like the second group, then the mutation point is the mutation. So to understand them, I'd like to go the analysis of the first integral to the second again, and this is considered as quantitative the various figures, which is known as follows. So quantitative representation is that this way, and this is actually related into a large representation of the so for example, I've shown this connected cycle now can use by the relative space, you know that this is zero, then it is mutation, and this is from a four cycle, so when they become coincident, then it becomes U2, related into U6. So the relevant information are in some numbers. So let's discuss the reason of fundamentality. So evidently, one of the first directions is for the pole separation of planes. So pole separation makes octagonal and spin heavy because spin between them is heavy because of rotation. And what if we have rotation, then from some angle we can make one of the octagonal and spin like so this is reflected by the other operator for a terminal shape. And if we have at least the one, then we can have the symmetry. So this equals to the angular difference on this kind of compensation. So when we talk about analysis of different types of properties, we have some setup that is defined consequently. Then DBI-XN expressed well that the energy is related to charge and charge is additive. So these can be factorized and expressed like this. And this is inline charge and this is defined charges in various directions. But importantly, we have some calculation that if we have oriented poles then the amount of charges from to different to including oriented depending on number of oriented poles. So we mean that for given oriented poles, given by orbit poles, its final is exactly the same as type 1 compensation. So because we have approximately, we can ask whether compensations are related if we have that direction. So indeed, there is some that direction. So when we consider the section of one factor with cycle, so from the old analysis, we have column like this. So for general angle, we have factors which figure out the stability and subsequently is combined to the lower end of the setup. However, if we satisfy some conditions, in this case, this is equivalent to first zero condition and positive line condition, we know that this condition is local condition holds at every point. So we know from the Either before us, basically, is subject to the function. We know that there is some smooth and marginal information from this state to this state. So every intermediate setup has same errors, and the recombination is marginal. So by this recombination and power separation, we can always make so if we have some cycle and some new image brain with respect to orientable plane, we can always make this cycle into a parallel cycle and on top of orientable plane. So this is nothing but a complexification of type 1 string field. So for example, we can show that this complex brain picture is continuously deformable to this type 1 complexification. Which is the same horizontal group. If we analyze cycles considered here, that satisfies the supersymmetric decay cycle considered above, and by the combination we can make all the brains in parallel and be on top of orientable brains. So for maximal phase, we obtain a ST8 to the 4th, which is broken phase of property to the 4th by the projection of the phase with Hawking projection. So this is explained by this projection rule. Also there is some direction that converts all the objects into 6 plus 1 dimensional objects, which is consistent with empirical computation. So we know that the supersymmetric setup can be deformable to type 1 computation. So finally, I'd like to discuss this quickly. So in the one underneath, usually is understood as population around the D-brain background, and we can factor out this D-brain background, which will be the original factor in the signal vector. So if we expand this action, then this gives first action and younger action and focus action, which is not relevant, and compile the sum. But in general, even we have about the mid-station scale over alpha prime. We have single registration coupling, but in the one underneath, because of the background plot, we can have different base coupling. And but of this scale, we have because this population breaks down, so we should expand. We cannot expand from this background, and we have younger section, and we have 10-dimensional type 1 strings. Let me just briefly discuss this thing. So in the supersymmetric model, U1 is embedded into UN, which is center of mass, motion of brain set. So this is because we embedded, but this has our same structure. If we notice that these quantum numbers are set by quantum number and lepton number and U1 are, then it is perfectly embedded into SO10. So although we don't have similar representation of SO10, we can have unified coupling, and if we declare that U2 is USP2, then this defaults on that. So in the coupling unification unit, we can, there is this is circumstance. So to sum up, all the representation and basic groups can be unified to SO42 of the joint, and symmetry breaking is done by your brain separation and elimination, and they are connected to type 1 complexification. And a single base coupling can lead a different base coupling in the lower which is connected by pressure reflection around the initial string. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the invitation, and sorry for those who expected to be in here. So, typically, I made an ambitious plan, and I don't know that I'll be able to carry it out. I would like to review the progress we have made in terms of constructing semi-realistic models, the standard model of that structure, and our understanding of the spectrum couplings as well as modulized stabilization. So, in this overview, I'm going to summarize as brief as possible the status on the type 2 side that involves intersecting D-brains, and really have time only to highlight aspects of spectra and couplings. As part of some new developments and results, I'm going to highlight some new constructions of SSI dots that may be relevant for neutrino masses as well as new types of SSI dots, and then also some coupling calculations within SSI dots that are relevant for proton decay. And then in the second part, I'll turn to the epizodic side. There I'll focus on some new constructions of globally consistent models from Calabi-Yau spaces that have just the spectrum of the mean supersymmetric standard model, and highlight implications and results for Yukawa coupling, and briefly, if I have any time, mention some preliminary results for the calculation of non-perturbative superpotential due to Wolffi's membrane instances in this context. So, on the type 2A side, we have really made progress focusing on the way of orbital type constructions with intersecting physical brains. And there we have by now results of 3 family supersymmetric standard model and that model. I should mention that first there are dual pictures of this description, and other types of constructions that we actually heard about or will hear about by a number of speakers at this conference, in particular type 2 radical chromatographic constructions. Gave us a Rotherham model. They are local type 2B constructions that will be singularities and possibilities. Physical brain, primarily because in this picture really all key aspects of particle physics, like non-abelian symmetry, chiral matter, family applications, supersymmetry, have rather geometric origin. So as far as intersecting physical brains go, we see that in the internal space there are 3 cycles, and in general intersect at 6 number of points, which are determined by intersection number, which is a topological number. If we zoom in at such an intersection and quantize open strings there, but always get a massless 2-dimensional fermion as part of the spectrum, which could act as origin of chiral matter there. So we have geometric origin of chirality, the number of intersections to tell us about family replication, which is also geometric in origin, and this allowed us to engineer standard model or other dot constructions with intersecting physics brains with rather explicit geometric approach. So in particular, for standard model, ingredient what we would want to do is take the U3 brain, U2 brain, intersect 3 times. At each intersection, we would get massless chiral field in bi-fundamental representation, which would add then as 3 copies of left-handed quarks. We would have to supplement that with additional brains that would account for proper hypercharge. But very importantly, since we are putting brains on compact Calabi-Yau space, we have to satisfy the other consistency conditions such as physical brain size conservation in internal space, which necessarily involves introduction of orientable planes. And indeed, about 5-6 years ago, after implementing these engineering procedures and global consistency conditions, a wealth of standard three-family standardized models which were non-supersymmetric to begin with were constructed. Now, implement the symmetry conditions in my view is an important aspect. In particular, in this case, we don't have problems with which was factors anymore. Nevertheless, those conditions are more constraining, and yet they also led very shortly to the first example of three-family standard models. Just to remind you, all of these constructions are basically rather simple. They will rely on tools like orbitals, on which we put the fixed brains, and basically the cycles that we choose to the fixed brains are cycles in theory taken by 2i. So we might choose the product of these 2i, then 3 cycles are products of the 1 cycle on each 2 poles, and we specify 1 cycle in terms of these again homology cycles of each 2 poles. So the wrapping numbers for each cycle of that type are specified as the wrapping numbers of a cycle and B cycle. We can take another brain, make a wrap another 3 cycle with another set of wrapping numbers and intersection number, which is indeed topological, depends on the wrapping numbers. The way the consistency conditions is implemented is, as I already pointed out, it has to do with the fixed charge conservation in the internal space, which we can only satisfy if we introduce fixed brains with negative fixed brain charge, the identical brains, along with the worship theory projection. That, in particular case of the fixed brains, for example, we can choose the fixed brain along the horizontal direction of 3 to 2i, but because of the additional symmetry along with each brain configuration, we get also the identical image, which we have to take into account. And we shouldn't forget that there is another discrete building. Were primarily done with 2 quadratic orbitals, and I would just like to highlight the work from 2 years ago with Yang Li and Hao Liu, where we systematically search for three-family standard models in this context based on structure that is descending from particle length symmetry. And then there was further technical development putting brains on rigid cycles of the first default constructions. There was also work on other orbitals, which together with standard models typically did require any combination, but there is promising example also of clinical in art that has the 10% spectrum for many couple coupling. There are also on the orbitals new types of constructions that I try to highlight in the following, since they are relevant for nuclear methods.
If you wish to, I think this is a meeting just in many ways. The planning of the meeting is coupled with the coming of sheets, so that's what we're trying to necessarily offer. What do we know? And by the way, these arrows here are probably the really high to my guess. You can see a little optimistic quick. You can see a quick arrow up there at about 350 meters. What do you know, it's real? We have 2 ways to separate the into the science. So, this is the puppet. This is the ready for the direction. Also have the schematic, almost in the same space. Using that, we can use the pencil to find the students to provide to the camera to the puppet, to get in the area. So, the class community, the community picture of the class community is mainly the instrument for the center, something else, like very specifically the light on the space. And it's a little different we get the type of the orientation and the top of the total pipe, it's very close to the lens, and essentially the conventional will give you the mass within the channel, and don't tell very much about the top of the lens pipe in the project. Using particle things like from the place, you want to do the personally or I'm very great. And the orientation oppositeness to see the technical and the light oppositeness. Okay. So this is very from that. In the session, you can already compare to the light in the model. And I think that's the way to And I think, okay, you can take it, but I will not take it on the picture. So, I mean, don't talk about it. It's a question of how we talk about medical research perspective. That looks like, I think someone else in the room might remember that more precisely than me. I'm going to guess and say it's the Hubble volume that they have. I can't quite remember. Okay, it's a decent chunk of the universe. Because we spread out the whole sky, apart from the galactic plane that gets in the way, but we've got 2/3 of the sky here, actual redshift is 0.7. Okay? So there are many more factors out there because of regular spectrums and higher redshifts. Yeah, so I am absolutely not an expert. Someone is much more than me about the volume of them. So we're doing this work right now without asking for the details, but the number I said on the number of clusters that they have in the simulations that they're working with is just about right. And we can simulate samples that are that big now. It's very exciting actually. It's very exciting that they've now gone beyond up an extra factor 2, I guess, in grid dimensions otherwise, and they have the volume up to the level that we're really interested in seeing. Yes, the sky survey, and these data, we found every single relaxed cluster found in any way that we can, but the red sky survey was the key thing for finding new clusters. Okay, so with the caveat that the simulations that we're going to compare to here are based on lower mass halos, we're still going to try to ask a few questions and see if we can learn something interesting. Okay? First thing is we're going to ask, are the four halos more concentrated than the larger ones? We'll look at the slope of the relation, and then the simulations tell us that we expect a parallel slope between concentration and mass, so the slope goes about 10 to 1. Those simulations for smaller mass halos suggest an evolution, but there's a constant value of 1 over 1 plus z, and they generally find an intrinsic dispersion with that 10 to 1 over log. Okay, this is pretty... Well, mass relation should be concentration over all halos of that mass. Yes, you want to talk about all halos of that mass, you're talking community, very good point. I'm going to... Yeah, it's a very good point. I'll tell you what we can do at the moment, but indeed what we want, if I wanted to, I'm starting off by saying, if we want to ask these questions in the way I would ask them, the simulations would have to exist, but they're not big clusters, so let me answer those relaxed ones and then we'll make a comparison, but the simulations don't exist right now. I'm just saying I think it's still interesting to ask the questions that we can ask compared to the only simulations that we have to compare to. We have observational, but we have observations of what this looks like. It's unusual. Okay, we have the observations, we know what it really looks like. It's up to the simulators now to see, test their simulations and see how do they look compared to what we see.
Did you need to know your selection function in order to apply to the simulation structure?
Yeah, but I don't think, if you play with them, so what we have done is parallel numerical simulations already. Rory Short kindly gave us his data. And what we did was, I'll show you this in a second, we selected out the most relaxed 20% of the halos, okay, from his simulation. The answers were not that different from looking at, I think they do by default, it's probably something like select mode, like 80% of the halos, because they all cream off the stuff that's really messy, and then there's a result. So we just went that much more relaxed. And we didn't get results that were that different. I'll show you them in a second. But they were pretty similar. Okay, so you wouldn't expect that necessarily to make a huge difference. Okay, whether you take the top 10%, 10, 30, 40, it'll make some difference, but it may not be huge. There will be a problem there, but on the observational side. If you start trying to measure masses from systems that are not relaxed, then things can go wrong quite quickly, because you've got a method that relies on. But when you're in a simulation world, you can always measure the mass. You know it. Okay. So this is the kind of mass model that people fit. Okay, for these lower mass simulations. And here are just a couple of parameters. This is what Laurie got from his simulation, looking at, I think, all CDM halos, but getting rid of, say, the tail of the messy. People either fit. So that's the slope. That looks like 0.1. It's constant level. So this is the broken main line. Gosh, that's another good question. There's an issue here. I think, again, the simulations have just not been done. Okay? If you really want to do this stuff, it's good clusters. So like a relaxed chief volume. We'll run it for a whole bunch of different techniques. It's something that people really want to do. Some colleagues of mine are working on it right now as well. It's a very interesting question. Yeah, all that in mind. But I'm not telling you this is the final answer. I'm just saying this is what the data say. Remember, we're talking about data. Not a simulation. Okay. We've got the observed mass, concentration mass relation. Okay, this is what we see. Concentration against mass. If we ask the question, does the concentration decrease with increasing mass? Yes, we can see it very clearly. When we got this was a new result. It hasn't been seen before. Then Dave York and his colleagues came out within a few days and got a similar result based on studies of groups. You're right, there's a correlation. Actually, in some of our papers, we have the full contours, so you can go ahead and look at those to see the relation between those and error. I just did it because it's a kind of familiar thing for people to look at. But when I looked at your results from simple chi-square fitting, we also did multi-color analyses of these things, shuffling them around, paying full attention to the degeneracies in there. I'll tell you the results that I'm going to present are just the same when you do it properly and fully paying attention to all those degeneracies. But again, it's a lot of good questions. Very good. No, this is just concentration. I'm going to flip to the redshift dependence in a moment. The third, indeed, it's not getting to R500. We're getting to about, typically about a third of the Verda radius. The canonical radius, that we have got quite results for the 72,500. We have to run a little bit beyond that. If you'd waited for 5 graph, you'd have seen this big up there on the view graph, but I come to discussing caveats. So what we're doing, okay, we're fitting the data within, let's say, a third of the Verda radius, with NSW models. Okay, I'm then just extrapolating that complete range of models out to the Verda radius to determine which results on concentration mass at the Verda radius. I could have done it at a smaller radius, but we've got models. So the assumption there is that the NSW model is going to continue to provide a useful description of the data for that extra chunk of the Verda radius. We've already tested that it works. It's small radii. That's the assumption. That is an assumption that's in here in the extrapolation. But I think it's not that.
So it was just sort of the error bars on concentration includes the fact that you only see the smaller scale.
Absolutely. These error bars completely the model. Absolutely. These error bars, the analysis completely pays attention to the extrapolation uncertainty.
Why do bigger clusters have bigger error bars?
Why do bigger clusters have bigger error bars?
You don't need to reach it. You don't need to reach it, right? So you have to go into the difference.
That will play a part in the overall.
But it's not the unit, but it's smaller, so the brain radius is much faster.
I think we should also look at the data. Just remember that there are snapshot data that shortest code is in here. I don't know the exact answer to your question. I would need to go and look at it to tell you for sure. But some of these points here have very good error bars as well, some of them. Okay, it's not just a trend all the way to the data. Okay. Yes, so we just said, yes, more, hang on, I want to say yes. Okay, and I hope we're not what Dave and his team are doing there as well. Okay. Second question. Gosh, by the way, this is the second winner. I'm not even going to touch the second half of the talk at all. It's up to you guys. I'm happy to go as long as you want, or I can stop. Okay? I'm happy to go. It's fun as well, and I'm going to get some useful feedback from this. So as long as you guys want to go, I can go. So second question of this part. With the slope of the concentration mass relationship consistent with the predictions from those simulations for lower mass halos. Significantly lower mass halos. The answer is no. Okay? And this is that model from the short tail data. Remember though, that model is dominated by data down here. So it's a real extrapolation predator there. But the fact that it is bad if you just take that model and put it into the data, extrapolating it up. If you just select calculate the last clusters from the simulations in the way that we talked about before, remember still it's still a huge extrapolation. The thickness is a bit better. It's dropped by I think that was 25 or so in height, but it's still nowhere near acceptable. Basically, the slope of the simulation is too flat compared to the data. That's what we call it. What we can do. Next part. The political model, etc., has a big warning sign that says the change parameter, and if it don't go beyond whatever the mass divided by k, that says you're going to get into trouble as you approach a few. Again, the message we're looking at here, they say their model needs to be treated with some caution. Also, we've got the issue of what the power spectrum is doing itself. I think the best thing to do here is really just go and simulate, do the proper simulation, and see if it ends over. When I talked to Lisa Wexler about this couple of weeks ago, she said, I don't think it's a surprise at all that it ends over and looks like that. It will be very interesting to see whether it does indeed pan out, but no one has done a simulation. It's a hole that's been sitting there for someone to come and fill it. We did have a look at the simulations of Dow and colleagues as well, which actually relate to what I'm just about here. It may be that their models, they're certainly different from the political models. I haven't done anything with that. What I said was that was the concentration, just the straight concentration as measured at the cluster. Maybe I'm not quite sure what correct for redshift means here. What I meant was that I haven't divided it out by 1 plus z, as you often see people do. But I'm picking up a model that includes the redshift dependence in it. Okay? Yes. I'm going to do that. I'm doing it for a reason. I mean, yes, I think it's true. If you want to do this in a really precise manner, you would want a well-defined selection function in your observations and your simulations. That just doesn't exist right now. The reason that, one of the main reasons that we gathered this sample for doing cosmology is that I do a kind of cosmology that doesn't need a selection function. And so you can use it, you can really do some upper cosmology right now. But this kind of question, we're just doing the best that we can. This is all the data on regular relaxed clusters that we find. But you're exactly right. The work company is going to be quite a lot more work. Okay. So, the redshift dependence. How does the redshift evolution compare to predictions from numerical simulations? Concentration against redshift. This is the standard Shortall model. What you see is that, well, maybe it's not bad down at low redshift, but it's undershooting. It's undershooting at high redshift. Okay? So there's a hint here. There's a lot of time with slope graph in relation. The redshift evolution may not be quite right as well. So what are we going to do? The hint for this one, the thing is not visual. Because it's the same redshift, you can get maybe different. Oh yeah, there's a scatter. There's intrinsic scatter. So the point I'm going to make in a moment is these two-dimensional plots are not the way you want to do this. You want to fit in 3 dimensions. You've already seen this scatter looks twisting, but the scatter didn't look twisting when I plot the same basis in this way. There's a fundamental plane. What have you got? There's a 3-dimensional surface that you need to pay attention to, which hasn't been paid attention to. You know, we haven't had the data to merit it, maybe. Okay, so this is the kind of model that we're going to fit to the data. We're going to have the redshift evolution free, the slope free, and the normalization free. Let that model go, and then this is what we get from the analysis. Okay, you can get a decent fit if you let those 3 things go. The normalization there was so different from what the simulation predicted. The slope is very different. It's a 95% error bar. Okay, instead of minus 0.1, it's minus 0.4. So the two-sigma error bar here, the 0.1. The redshift evolution actually isn't that different. It's flatter, but the two-sigma limit is still consistent with the one over 1 plus. So we want to make a big fuss about that. But this is significantly different. The slope of the time masses is significantly different than the lower masses. The chi-square is actually now becoming pretty good. 43.7 to 29 degrees of freedom. It's not bad. You can now ask the question, in the chi-square, what sort of intrinsic dispersion do you think is there in the CM relation? To throw in some intrinsic dispersion to the chi-square becomes 1, the chi-square becomes 1. The answer we get is actually we do find that it happens an intrinsic dispersion in those data. If that model, the reasonable model will be fitting of about 0.1, which is exactly the kind of dispersion of the simulation say that they find there. Which is interesting, I think. So if we're to summarize this result on the CM relation, the concentration decreases with increasing there. The slope is different, it's steeper in the time masses. The evolution is marginally consistent. We see roughly the expected level of intrinsic dispersion. But we really need to go off and do those simulations. And we need to come off and do those simulations. Okay, I guess the observation. Last question I want to ask on the mass profile of the cluster. Okay, how does the inner slope of the dark matter distribution compare with the prediction from simulation? I guess we've had a bunch of talk on this here at the meeting. I'm going to say that simulation is, let's say, 1.1 plus minus 0.2 at 68%. I don't know if someone will throw another value, but I base this looking at across a bunch of different simulation papers. So your Zeman's papers and more his team, Julio Navarro's papers and his team. I just put down an answer that seems to represent the bulk of information in those papers. Okay, I'm not aware of anything that crystallizes it. Okay, so what we did was go back carrying out the same dark matter analysis, this time with the generalized NFW model. That's way to the free parameter. I just asked, what are the results on the inner slope? First thing we got is, we said 80% of these profiles have an inner slope consistent with the unity, so the 68% confidence limit. And what we can then do is statistically combine the results from all the clusters and get our combined results on the inner dark matter density slope. And this is what we find. Essentially alpha is, let's say, 0.9 plus minus 0.3. Okay? Which we're just going to say seems to be consistent with the prediction from the simulations. We can 95% confidence limit. Make it that.
you have selected the gun too?
We've included a component to potentially optical baryonic mass. What I would say is we carry out some tests. If you're interested, go and have a look at the paper where we tried changing the mass to light ratio in a galaxy by plus or minus 50%, and it just didn't make any difference. Okay, so the result. I mean, because it's a small fraction of the baryonic mass, it's a really small fraction of the total mass, and it's right down there in the inner region as well. Radio beams, you do have the ability to measure. What you're looking at, remember, is the floating side, the asymptotic floating side of scale radius, and we have plenty of they're typically in this analysis somewhere between 4 and 8 spectral beams, so we're using. But the scale radius is heading towards the enter radius that we're looking at. So most of our data, most of the constraining power is inside the scale radius. This is a marginalized result. This is a marginalized result on the inner flow. Okay, so those are the parameters that are free in the analysis. They weren't free in the analysis. A single power law is the module for a second. A single power I think that would be a very bad fit. I haven't done that, but I think that would be a bad fit to the data. You would need to get all of the data doesn't fall inside RS. Okay, we have the ability to measure, and some of the previous figures I showed you the constraints on RS. RS is pinned down pretty well, but a decent chunk of our data is inside RS. Yeah, we do. Okay. A few words on systematics. You had Dyke here yesterday, and I haven't seen this talk. I'd like to know what he said. I just want to make a few comments on systematics affecting the starting analysis. Reading Dyke's paper, my recent paper with Andre and last week, but then the comment he came out with was that for the biggest, the most massive relaxed clusters, he expected the masses to be measured with an RT500, the kind of radius that we're looking at, to be close, I think, almost unbiased. He put limits of, they should be measured to accuracies of better than like 5 to 8%, another thing we're not sure, but in effect it says less than 5 to 8%. The limit there is an uncertainty. It's attributed up a limit. It depends upon the viscosity of the gas. If, as some of the actual observations that we can talk about if you like after, the observations are hinting that the viscosity may actually be quite high in the X-ray gas, higher than in the simulation. If that's the case, then you might expect reality to be even better than this, because both motions will be damped down much faster. So this is a word from Dyke's simulation. All the things to do with circle symmetry and everything are folded into this. This is not the problem. This uncertainty comes primarily from residual bolt motion, turbulence, things like that within the gas. It's a systematic effect, but we're saying, based on the simulations, they're saying it's less than this number. Okay? We don't know the number, it will depend upon the physics of the gas. Because primarily the viscosity it all goes in one direction. And if we have time to get to it, I'll show you exactly what happens when you account for that in the cosmological analysis. But like in general system, like work on looking at magnetic fields, the conclusion was the massive black cluster is magnetic, that's just not supposed to be an issue at all. So, given these levels of uncertainty, the kind of conclusions I was presenting here today, I really don't expect them to be affected by these kind of uncertainties. But as I would have told you anyway, remember, there is no calculation to go to the zero radius from wherever data exists. We can couple the simulations and should be okay, but there's nothing quite like going out there and making sure that things are okay. So we're trying to do some stuff. And one of the things that particularly like Harold and David Donovan, student in Hawaii, is doing a really, I think, it's a pretty monumental effort at measuring these lensing methods to these clusters. So we're using Subaru. I think about the 16 of the 40 clusters, we gathered Subaru's time data. 6 colors for many of them, not for all of them, but for many of them 6 colors, EBV, RNG. They're pretty deep, and we have many goals for this, particularly linked to the structure experiments. But one of the goals is trying to check the levels of long-term pressure support in the X-ray gas by comparing the X-ray and with lensing measurements. This is ultra preliminary. David will probably get annoyed with me for showing it, but I'm showing it to just show all the work that he's doing. He's doing an enormous amount of hard work right now. Our ultra preliminary results suggest things look pretty good. So this is an advert for what David is doing. Okay?
But how do you that you need 10% mass security for the non-thermal pressure support?
Well, the interesting thing will be how much of the weak lensing data. We know that there should be capture from cluster to cluster in weak lensing data. How much of it jump up and down around the X-ray line? Is it on average, or however you want to make the statistic? Is there an offset one way or the other on average between the lensing mass and the X-ray mass at a given mass? Okay?
If non-thermal pressure support is their role, is the fact the difference is to be 10%.
Well, no, the way it said. In the simulation, that's an upper limit of 5 to 8%, depending on the viscosity. The viscosity is high. It could be almost zero. We don't know. It could be up to about 10%. This kind of test is the way of figuring out what that value is. Okay?
You do need masses of 10%.
No, the average. Yeah. You don't need individual methods for that kind of accuracy. You want the average. You want to understand, does this line, this is a one-for-one line that's drawn up here. Is there a systematic offset? If there is, it will end up sitting over here by however many percent. It is. Ultra preliminary results. You're right, Bob. And I think what's really important for a variety of reasons, including where the structure experiment, is to get weak lensing mass measurements down here. Okay, you can do it, but it's hard work. It's hard work getting down to lower mass systems. We aren't trying to do it. I hope techs are trying to work on how to do it. I think it's a really important thing to do. Okay. This is actually a mass within that one something like that. So, we want to